This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with Tragedy. We are the Russo's Brand Crack Investigation Unit. We come to you live, well, not live every single week, but we bring you a case number every single week. And this week we have a very special case that we're going to dive deep into. It's your boy, Piers, the bald, the beard, the beautiful Austin, aka Australia's finest, and I am with the one and only, the former ECW original, the Kingpin, Angel motherfucking Medina. Angel, what's up, homie?
Motherfucker forgot the king of the streets, man. You better respect the monarchy and put it in the right terminology. Well, anyway, I appreciate it. Thanks again. Which will be on another episode of Wrestling with Tragedy, case number 72. We're going to be discussing about the Rob Van Dam Sabu Sticky Icky situation and kind of, did it ruin his career? Did it ruin his push? That's why he was no longer heavyweight champion. Do tell. But until then, let's kick off with these beautiful sponsors so we can definitely get the ball rolling. I'm scratching my ankle if you're wondering why I'm bending over.
Oh, good. Oh, good. First up is Sleefs.com. That's SLEEFS. Sleefs.com. If you're an athlete or someone you know is an athlete, you need to check out Sleefs.com. They've got armbands, they've got compression pants, compression tights, headbands, mouth guards. They got all your athletic wear covered, and they even have those dirty ass boxes. Dirty boxes, man. I have to say, Angel, that I got a whole heap of dirty boxes from Sleeves.com, and they are the most comfortable boxes I own. I've actually thrown out all my old boxes, and I only wear sleeves from now on.
I got a slogan for them.
Oh, let's hear it.
If you're going to wear dirty boxes and if you're going to queef, rock it with sleeve.
Ooh,
Kingpin approved.
Kingpin approved. Guys, if you want to rock out with some dirty boxes, you need some athletic wear, head over to Sleeves.com and we got you covered. We'll give you a 10% discount. Just use code MWAPOD at checkout for a 10% discount on your final purchase. And next up, we have
it is health vape, definitely a great alternative if you're vaping. Something that Pierce should be doing, which he did. He did order some health vape to get his energy going. Also gives vitamins and nutrients. Definitely a good product to try. Kingpin hasn't had one yet. I'm gonna order some. My woman doesn't like that I vape. I don't vape, but she thinks it's a very bad habit. But anything that will give me vitamins, minerals, or give me energy, I'm always the guinea pig to do something like that. So definitely check out healthvapes.com. Definitely use promo code MWAPOD. Get 10% discount. I'm telling you, looks like it's a great product. Pierce is putting it over big time. I think it's going to be going off the shelves like hotcakes. Definitely get your vitamins in. If you want to vape, definitely go to healthvape.com.
Dude, it's no nicotine, no harmful products, and
vitamin
infused. So make sure you check out healthvape.com. We got you covered. So use
absolutely. I did say vitamins. I keep forgetting the no nicotine.
Nicotine, no nicotine.
What do I say?
I'm not repeating it. But
hey, first of all, when you say liver, it's liver.
Liver.
So when I say nicotine, it's my New York accent. It's hard for me to pronounce the word because of the way I fucking pronounce things. So that's why I don't say it, because it sounds like a racial slur.
Anyway, Angel, we're going to be getting into the RVD and Sabu arrest, which, they got pulled over on a one evening on July 1st, 2006. RVD was arrested with Sabu, and it could not have happened at a worse possible time in Rob Van Dam's career. Rob has never been someone to shy about expressing his love for the sticky icky over the years, and in this one instance in 2006, he got himself into a little bit of trouble.
Well, before we go into that, I'm just curious. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I don't partake in the sticky icky. I don't have nothing against the sticky icky or the green herb, but I don't smoke. That's the thing. I don't smoke. And I remember DeVito back in the days in the video games, he was partaked in the herbal green. And he always wanted, hey man, you should try it, brother. I said, bro, I don't smoke. Try brownies. I can make you a batch, some cookies. When so I'll be, to me, once they legalize it, I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably just sample it because it's like having my first beer when I hit 21. But I won't smoke it, but I'll eat some damn edibles. But I got to be careful. I heard stories that if you eat a whole cookie, that'll fuck you up. You got to make sure you just take a bite because the way it digests and how it digests slowly. But anyway, what's your opinion?
It's a different stone, really. Like when you have an edible, it's more of like a full body high. And if you have too much of an edible, man, it'll fuck you up to a new level, bro. Like you'll get like an uncomfortable stone.
Now I know you don't do this. I mean, maybe this was when you did it in high school, but when you talk about a cookie, I'm thinking of it like an actual cookie. Now, if you eat the whole cookie, that's going to mess you up. But or the cookie's made at the certain amount of THC that's in there that when you eat it, you can eat the whole thing and go, because you can't eat half a cookie. You can't bite an Oreo and go, I had enough. You want to eat the Oreo. So it just
depends how strong it is, bro, and who's made it. You know what I mean?
So you got to make sure that say, hey, how much can I eat the whole cookie? And it only has this much, so it just gives me a nice, relaxing high. Not like, oh shit, I'm fucked up. I see crickets coming out of the wall.
It just depends on how strong it is, man.
Just curious.
Yeah. So let's get into the episode. So while traveling from a show in West Virginia to Philadelphia, Rob Van Dam and Sabu on July 1st, 2006, RVD was pulled over for speeding. Everything was going fine at first. The officer was even joking with them until he smelled marijuana inside the vehicle. That's when the officer performed a search and discovered RVD to be holding 18 grams of marijuana alongside with 5 Vicodin, and Sabu was found holding drug paraphernalia and 9 tablets of Testolactone. I'm not sure what that is.
Don't ask me to pronounce it.
Testolactone.
Man, that you're gonna take up the whole show if you keep trying to figure that out. So keep going.
So both Rob and Sabu were arrested and later post bond. So the timing of the arrest couldn't have come at a worse time, as RVD was in the middle of probably the biggest push of his career in WWE. He'd won the WWE Championship off John Cena at One Night Stand. A few weeks before that, that was a few weeks before the incident on July 11th, 2006. WE also in the midst of trying to unsuccessfully revive the ECW brand. RVD was also holding the reinstated ECW title at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So shortly after the arrest, he dropped, I believe it was the 3rd of July, he dropped the ECW title, the WWE title to Edge, and then he later dropped the ECW title to the Big Show.
Well, the Big Slow.
Well, it's the Big Slow.
Do you think he's slow because he was smoking the sticky icky?
Who, Rob or Big Show?
I'm just saying Big Show, Big Slow. No, go ahead, man.
But, it just seems to be like, Rob was given a 30-day suspension, and, Sabu was given a $1,000 fine as well. And they really sort of changed up Sabu's character. Rob Van Dam, with WWE, he probably wasn't looked at in the same limelight of being a top performer at the stage after that incident as well, I should say, sorry. Do you think that it impacted him long-term in his career, the arrest?
Well, I mean, due to the fact of his popularity and everybody knew he smoked the ganja. I mean, I don't think it affected his popularity because he's RVD, and everybody, even in ECW, man, they knew he was a partier in regards to the marijuana, and it has health properties. I mean, and it cures anxiety. If you have a joint issues and stuff like that, I heard stories that it does help that. So I mean, he even have his own. He even has his own CBD product right now. So and it's flying off the shelf. So I really don't think that it affected his popularity, only in the popularity of Vince's eyes in the WWE world, that it just kept him at a certain level. And if it was, he wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. So It's just a personal thing. I think Vince just really frowned on it at the time.
Yeah, look, that's fair enough. But you look at, so many other performers over the years. Like, I believe there was an incident involving the Iron Sheik and
I was about to talk
Jim
about
Duggan. Yeah. But we'll get into that, because one of the things I found interesting is when Rob Van Dam was, after the 30-day suspension, he went back to WWE. He was like, "Hey, yo, can I get more time off?" Like, it just seemed like, whether he was burnt out from performing at that stage, and he was just like, "Fuck this shit! Like, I am fucking done, bro."
But you know what's funny about it? When you ask for time off, I mean that tells you nothing negative. It's just when you have financial stability and when you have money, then in your world, you're set, because the problem is that like for example, like you can't take off work and go, oh, I'm going to take off work. Can I have more time off and not get paid? Because you
Yeah,
only have so much vacation time. So he's like, oh, he has the money, so he could take as much time as he wants and not really sweat it. So that's awesome.
dude. Yeah, like, good for, like, you know what I mean? But in the same sense, like, after coming off a 30-day suspension and then going, "Hey, yo, I want more time off," that's like, this motherfucker. Are you serious, bro? Like, from the higher ups, they would look at it like going, "This guy is not serious." He don't, I mean? Like, we've just fucking like pretty much made him drop 2 titles back to back, and because of this arrest, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck it." Like, what I mean? Like, I think a lot of performers would probably go, "Fuck, man, I fucked up. I need to get back in there. I need to keep my head clean, get back on the road as soon as fucking possible, and show these guys I deserve this opportunity." Where Rob's like, "Nah, I'm good."
But what's funny though? I mean, I know you wanted to talk about it later, but I mean, the same thing happened with Jim Duggan and the Iron Sheik. I mean, it affected him, his career a little bit. I mean, I remember watching a shoot interview that he said is just like, I got in trouble. They were like, "What are you doing?" And he knew it pushed him down the ladder from main event to I don't want to say curtain jerker, but mid card. So I mean, it does affect you, man. I mean, Vince holds it personal.
Yeah, I mean, like, even, Rob Van Dam had said that, the day that Sabu and he pulled into the Philly arena and had to tell Vince, that he knew how much that he disappointed Vince and dropped the ball on his immediate plans. And he said, he felt bad that day. He was feeling like he let some people down, but that's the way that emotion is. Emotion takes place of logic. Until you work things out, you're a victim of it. And eventually you could see the bigger picture, and that's how it goes down in history. And, he paid, I think, $100 fine for marijuana. And, since the WWE suspended him, it ended up costing him like 30 to 40 grand, bro. And man,
And what?
and then he asked for more time off at the end of the 30 days.
But 30, 40 grand in what? Like fines or he lost revenue because he wasn't at some shows? What
I'd
was
say it
30?
was like he lost revenue from shows. It just stated that he said that he lost 30 or 40 grand. It ended up costing him 30 or 40 grand. But and he asking for the more time off after the end of the 30 days. He even said that was one of his favorite months of his contract, and that's how much that he wanted out of there and how much that he missed being at home.
Okay. But again, I mean, but what do you mean it's about being home? He doesn't have any kids. His girlfriend, I mean, just hanging out on the beach and smoking some more herb. I mean, what did he miss about home?
Who knows, man? Maybe just he liked being at home, bro. Maybe he's a homebody. You knew Rob. You tell me, bro. Like, what was he like as a dude? Was he someone that would smoke weed then go out and perform?
Yeah, man, the guy was always puffing away on the herb, man. I mean, again, I mean, it didn't affect his performance. It didn't hinder him from. I mean, yeah, he was stiff, but he was always stiff in the ring. So I can't say that. Oh yeah, because he was smoking weed. That's why I got hurt, because it just messed with his depth perception and stuff like that. But no, I mean, like I said, yeah, he was always stoned. He smoked the weed, and I mean, it didn't. He was always stoned at the time.
But like smoking weed and wrestling, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how would you even go about doing that? Because like the weed would slow you down. But obviously, Rob's a professional wrestler and also a professional weed smoker. Were there ever nights that you saw him and he was off, or was he always able to just go out there and be on, whether he's smoking or not?
No, he was always on. But think about it like this, really seriously. Think about it like this. What's the difference between him and the Sandman? I got hurt more being with the Sandman and the motherfucker's drunk in the ring. Being drunk and being high, two different type of feelings. Because that messes with your when you drink it messes up with your coordination, it messes up with your timing. I mean, but again, I never smoked weed, but he never missed the step. So I can't say it affects your mobility in the ring. So I mean, like I said, what is the difference between him smoking weed and Sandman being drunk?
There's not at all. There's not at all. I actually have a clip here. If you want me to play it, it's actually from The Arrest.
No, fuck, don't play that clip. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Just give me a second here. But like, I think, when you look at, what happened in the situation, where is it? There you go. When you look at what happened in the situation there, Angel, do you think that, like he even said, like the grueling schedule of being a top main event guy about being the WWE champion took its toll on him? Do you think that a lot of guys just get burnt out quickly?
I don't know, dude. I mean, that's all. It just depends on the person. I never was burnt out. I loved being on the road, and especially when you're single and don't have responsibilities. Yeah, I never got burned out.
So let's have a look at the video. It's
Go ahead,
a minute
man.
long, but we won't play it all.
Yeah, the speed limit 55. I checked your speed at 73.
Oh, I thought it was 65. We were wrestling in Huntington tonight on our way to Columbus.
Who you wrestling for?
WWE.
Is that right?
Nobody else.
I don't follow wrestling.
No, I just mean we're like,
Somebody on TV or something?
Yeah, world champion.
What do you go by?
Rob Van Dam, RVD.
Oh, okay, I've heard of you.
Yeah.
What's your name, Ball?
Sabu.
Sabu. Well, it's 55, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I thought it was 65.
You're rolling pretty hard.
I don't need to do that.
Always drive with your shirt off?
It was very hot leaving the area. No, I don't.
You wrestled tonight?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago.
Do you have any marijuana, guns, knives, drugs, anything like that in the vehicle? Can you explain to me why your car smells like dope?
So the police officer seemed to be joking around with him a fair bit.
Yeah.
And then it was like, as soon as it got to the marijuana and the smelling of that, that's when it was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, that's when the cop was sort of started searching him. But, even like Sabu was still with the company for another 12 months after that. The arrest in itself, where he got pulled over, and I mentioned earlier, he had 18 grams. The fact is, like, the public and the fans knew about it because I saw an interview with Rob Van Dam where he stated that the crowd were chanting at him, 18 grams, 18 grams.
Yeah.
So,
well, look, I mean, to be honest with you, let's just go with this thing. Like I said, again, I feel like from my experience, I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with weed, right? When I remember when I used to pull over people and I smelled weed, here at the time, it was just a notice to appear ticket. So it was not you could arrest if you wanted to, but it was more of a pain in the butt to arrest somebody for that instead of just giving them an NTA just to make an appearance. That's what it was called, an NTA, notice to appear. So, I mean, the trooper, I mean, yeah, he was doing his job. If it was me, maybe, I would have called him a ride, and just kept have him push along. But again, state troopers are totally different here. I mean, they're balls to the wall, no nonsense motherfuckers. So, I'm just saying, like, it just depends on the officer. Like I said, I just didn't see he was doing anything wrong. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal that the fans were singing 18 grams. It's just funny, but again, me, I would have not arrest. I would have been like, this is too much work. It's bullshit. 18 grams is not a lot.
Well, 18 grams is what, an ounce?
Yeah, it's just an ounce. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't like, bro, it wasn't like they were smuggling it. It's like personal use, but he was like, obviously they would have felt that he was under the influence and wasn't being able to drive. They said it was a speeding of 55.
He was in his 55 when he said he was doing 76, and he thought it was in the 65 mile per hour zone.
Yeah, I mean, do you think he was working the officer?
In what way?
Do you think he really thought it was a 65 zone?
Oh yeah, if he was talking to Sabu, not paying attention, and the market changed from 65 to 65, I don't know the area, so I can't say that was. So it's a possibility that that he was being truthful.
Yeah, no, look, fair enough, man. But as far as like Rob Van Dam going into that, you look at. Let me compare it to you now. Like this was back in 2006, so Rob had to drop both titles. And I mean, like it basically halted his push. But the thing is, man, we've just recently discussed Jimmy Uso getting his 5th DUI, and then days later being given the tag straps with his brother in 2021. What the fuck?
And see, again, we just had this discussion. The difference between marijuana and drinking. Both might impair you, but one, I mean, this guy was fucked up. So I'm just saying that Jimmy Uso doing what he was doing, especially with his history, yeah, that's something. And especially you said he blew, I forgot, he blew like high.
Massively.
Yeah.
Massively.
See, he was seriously impaired. I said I never seen anybody. Again, you can smoke a lot of marijuana and be impaired. It just depends on the level, but you can't test for that. You can't test like if you get pulled over and you go, "Hey, blowing this." Oh, you've been smoking the sticky icky. You hit an 8.9. That's over the legal limit. You know what I mean? That's hard to tell.
Let me throw this out, right? Because
yes, sir.
There's always politics in wrestling, correct?
Correct.
Do you think that them putting the title on Rob Van Dam was like going, okay, well, ECW's making the comeback. It's pretty hot. We got to launch this brand. Rob Van Dam is the face of it. We got bring back the ECW championship, make it mean something, put it on an original ECW guy, give him the WWE championship, give the fans something that they want. And they're sitting there going, man, Rob Van Dam isn't the fucking guy that should be championing this company. Like, fuck this. Like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, but, the fans are going crazy for it, so we got to give them what they want. Oh, wait. You fucked up, son. Now we have a reason to fucking halt this shit. Do you think that they just didn't really want Rob in that spot to begin with, and the fans kind of forced their hand?
Yeah, but damn, dude. I mean, you knew his history. It's not like it was a mystery. It's not like it's a fucking mystery in regards to this. But think about it. I mean, what is the big deal? I mean, even if look, I don't see a big deal because there's worse out things to do. I mean, like say pop pills, shoot new bane, heroin, drinking fucking morphine. I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen it, and it's. I mean, there's worse, and that's all he does is smoke weed. I don't even never even seen him drink. I'm not saying he doesn't, but I've never even seen him drink. I think he just partakes in the stick, and that's it. So I don't think why it's such a big deal that they're just making it like. And then the thing is, then they're being hypocritical, like you say. Then they give the straps to Jimmy Uso, especially that is more severe. But you give him the straps, but you take away from Rob. Oh, but it was different times, different era. Well, whatever.
But that's exactly the thing I'm saying. This was back in 2006. It's 2021, where this sort of tolerance for a publicly traded company to sit there and go, nah, we can't do this. Like we could not allow someone like that to be on our weekly television to do that. But Rob Van Dam back in 2006 had marijuana, and not even copious amounts of it, personal use shit. Okay, he had Vicodin. Sabu had paraphernalia, which could have been, let's talk about drug paraphernalia, a bong, a hash pipe, a fucking whatever it may be. And then he also had, some other pills that we can't we can't describe, we can't pronounce. But to me, it just seems like, for me looking at it, I think that the higher ups in WWE were just like going, fuck, we need a reason to stop this guy getting a push. Oh, you just presented itself to itself. And then Rob going, hey, I want more time off. Like, to be honest, and let me ask you what you think. Maybe Rob couldn't handle being that top guy. Do you think that he couldn't handle the pressure?
No, fuck no, man. I don't think Rob could have not handled the pressure. I think he could definitely handle the pressure. The guy is a legit worker, and why would he be under pressure? I mean, he was fucking TV champ.
He said he had a lot of pressure on him as being the champ.
No, it's a lot of pressure being with WWE because he didn't have the same. He was holding the fucking TV title, and he didn't have that type of pressure. It's just that they put a chokehold on you with WWE. Being the champion that had nothing to do with the pressure. It was the office, because I told you many stories of how they fucking treated certain workers, and they're like just so stressed out, and getting sick and stuff, and because of the workload that they put on top of people.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think Rob is a hell of a performer. I've been, someone who appreciates his work for years, and I've enjoyed, a lot of his matches. But in this situation, the arrest, I think, pretty shortly after that, with Rob, after going for, he left, I think, WWE in around 2007. He took a few years off doing maybe a little bit of indie work up to 2010, and then made his return, at TNA. And then he had a pretty decent push in TNA as well. But getting back to the charges that were laid against him, what sort of, like, for what he had on him, what sort of jail time do you like? Not jail time, but what sort of, do you think in 2021, if they had the same amount of marijuana and drug paraphernalia and pills, would there have been a harsher crime would there been a harsher penalty criminally in 2021?
No, because now that everything is being like legalized and stuff like that, I don't think you still get it. It depends on the state too. You probably get ticketed, and it depends on how much you have. If it's just like anything. Is this for personal use or is this for distribution? So I mean, if it's because here in Kansas, you get charged for, at the time, and when I say at the time, is always when I was a cop. You get charged for possession of marijuana, not having a tax stamp for the marijuana, so that's two charges. And then so it was always weird that so I go get a tax stamp for my weed. So if I get stopped with weed, they go, oh, you're getting charged with this and not having a tax stamp, but then you present a tax stamp, so they can't charge you for that because you have a tax stamp for the weed. It was just weird. It was just like, that don't make any fucking sense. I'm still getting fucking ticketed or arrested. It's just stupid,
Well, you know what? Jim Ross commented on the 2006 arrest, and let me get your feedback here. So he said, well, basically, obviously going into the arrest, he said, Jim Ross's words were, well, it was a stupid mistake and a careless and selfish, quite frankly. Those guys both getting renewed opportunities to send up the card and to make more money. They adversely affected the whole process by speeding, and I'm sure that the car, I'm not sure if anything, I assume the car must have smelt like pot, I guess, because how else would the Ohio State Police think to search the car for drugs? It was just untimely. A lot of guys had gone into bat for those two fellas, and they got their break, so to speak, in that regard. It was terrible, terrible timing. There's never a good timing for that, for God's sake, but it was unfortunate and half-ass embarrassing. And it was something the company couldn't turn their back on. The company couldn't say, oh, it's all right, boys will be boys,
Oh, but you could say, when did he say that?
Jim Ross will settle on his podcast. Just looking for the timing of when it was probably years later, to be honest.
So you're telling me that he's fronting his nose on him. Oh, they give him a chance and he did this and that. And I'm not knocking Jim Ross. I like him. But Jimmy Uso. It goes back to the Jimmy Uso thing. I mean, it's a circle. You can't criticize one and then kind of like ignore the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I know this is probably prior to the Jimmy Uso thing, but now you know when you look at it now, you're like, okay, if it was me, I'd be like, fuck, you know, now I got to backtrack and go, well, you know, now it's different nowadays because they're putting the straps on these guys, and yeah, back then this is how it was, but now I have to change my tune because of this. You know, that's what I'm just saying. It's just I just don't see.
Well, JR also said that a wrestler, one time told him, you know, JR, we're like wild horses. You got to let us run. He said, I don't mind you running, but running off a cliff is stupid. These are stupid acts and selfishness. You know, it's just unfortunate. It's just unnecessary. Are you shitting me? If you're going to smoke weed and you're going to drive, first of all, that's not very smart. It's not very safe. Certainly, that's a DUI waiting to happen. You got to change. A lot of guys did change. Some of them were so defiant that they were going to change their habits come hell or high water. And that was an illustration of that right here.
Okay.
Do you think Jim Ross is being, you know, too harsh?
Well, Jim Ross
was too harsh in those comments.
Well, Jim Ross is being Jim Ross. I mean, I value his opinion. It's just that, like I'm saying, I just don't see it. I just don't agree. So I'm not going to sit here and just knock him for his opinion, but
No.
he has to look at it from a different perspective in regards to the fact that, you know, I mean, there's other worse drugs out there. And trust me, I know stories from guys from back in the WWE days sniffing the cocaine and performing in the ring. And they're heavyweight champion, or they get a massive push. So you can't, no. It's just fucking weed, man. And I just don't think, him getting caught does it do a bad light. But once again, back to the Jimmy Uso. He got caught once. Jimmy Uso got arrested, and it was publicly put out there. How many times? 5 times?
5 times. 5 times.
5 times. So why are you frowning on one who had it once? Regardless if 1 or 5 is still too many. But still, I could argue this all day, every day.
Bro, I'm in agreement with you. Like, you know, I'm in a country where marijuana is not legal. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't see marijuana. I don't look at marijuana as a drug. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. I think it's something that, you know, no one's ever died from smoking marijuana. No one's had an overdose from marijuana. It can't kill you. It's not a gateway drug. I've known people that smoke marijuana for years and that's their thing. Like, you know what I mean? RVD, for example, you know, and you mentioned Tony DeVito earlier, you know, someone who used to partake for many years. And Tony is a guy that, you know, you've known for many years, and you've never told me any stories of him really doing much harsher shit than marijuana.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, man. He never done anything harsh, you know. He didn't. Damn, I don't even remember seeing him drinking. Maybe he had a beer once in a while, but that was not his thing. So,
but that's the thing. Do you like? And I go back to: do you think it was a political move to say, you know what, now's the reason we can sort of sweep the rug from underneath Rob?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a political move, and you know, maybe he was not well liked, you know, and stuff like that in the locker room. Not locker room like the boys, but I just think it's just management, and I just think it just gave him a reason just to fuck with him. That's all it is. That's just, you know, I just think they just didn't like him because he was the opposite.
Sure. And I think that if WWE could, you know, and obviously we're looking at, you know, 14 something years after 17, 15 years after the fact. So do we look at it like going, okay, you know, this is consistent? Because what happens now, if someone in 2021 has the same fucking thing happen that say Jey Uso has, are they going to receive the same punishment? Back in 2006, if say Edge or John Cena got pulled over instead of Rob Van Dam and they had that in their car, would they have received the same punishment?
Yeah, they would have. No. John Cena, nah, they would probably swept it under the rug. In regard to that, just my opinion, because he's too much money, man. I mean, look at the Triple H situation about the steroid thing when they told Scott Steiner, "Hey, we want you to take a test." He goes, "Yeah, I'll take a test if fucking, but first let's give Triple H a test, for steroids." Come on, there's guys in that fucking company that was just fucking on the gas. But they just didn't they picked and choose who they wanted to fuck with.
Exactly. And I to me, I look at the situation going, there's more at play than them just going, oh no, we have to fucking act on this right now. Because WWE has shown over the years that they punish who they want to punish.
Yeah, it's pick and choose, man. They pick and choose who they want to fuck with, and that's just my opinion. And I think Rob Van Dam was just not the fave fives of people. So I just think they just didn't like him.
What do you think that is? Was he too outspoken, do you think? For
No,
WWE's liking?
No, he was just his own man's man, and they couldn't control him, and that's just what it was. I just don't think it was anything else besides like he was doing everything the opposite of what WWE wanted.
Well, you look at now, like as far as, let's say Matt Riddle, right? So Matt Riddle is the 2021 version of Rob Van Dam, essentially.
Yeah, and they promoted him being a stoner.
Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like you look at today, and I think Riddle would probably be in the same situation as Rob from all stories that we've heard.
Yeah.
So like, where does WWE go? Do you think what the punishment that they put on Rob was too harsh?
Yeah, man, they should have just, you know what? They should have just fined him because everybody knows his reputation. So it's not a surprise. So it's not going to affect his popularity. It doesn't make him look bad because everybody in the world knew Rob Van Dam promotes marijuana. So it's not like a fucking secret.
But do you think it was the other stuff that was there, the Vicodin, the pain pills, and do you think that was probably more of the main catalyst for the punishment?
Unless he had a prescription for it, and if he had a prescription, then again, that should not be a factor because he has a prescription for it. But was he charged for the marijuana? I mean, for the pills?
He was charged. I don't know what he was like.
Charged for?
The breakdown. Yeah, what he was charged for. Like,
okay, so
they arrested him.
Okay, so let's just go with this. They just arrested him being under the influence of marijuana and driving under the influence. So basically, or he was arrested for driving the influence on the marijuana and having prescription pain pills that he had no prescription for, or proof that he had a prescription for. So that's 2 charges. So yeah, they probably just fucking charged him for that. So we just have to find out which one it was, but. They just arrested him being under the influence. That's the gist.
If the incident hadn't happened, how do you think Rob Van Dam's career would have played out in WWE?
Totally different outcome. They would have probably pushed him to the moon. A lot of good angles. Like I said, that would have not. It's almost like Brian, Daniel Bryan, in regards to the situation, in regards to like. Since he had the popularity of the fans, they definitely want, and the yes chant and stuff. Vince couldn't stop from holding him down. So it's the same thing with Rob Van Dam. They just couldn't hold him down because of his popularity. So they would have had to push him to the moon until he fucked up.
And they were presented with an opportunity where this was their opportunity to go. There you go.
There you go. What?
Well, there you go. There's.
Okay.
We can halt the push.
Oh, I was like, what? There you go.
What the fuck? Have you been smoking the sticky icky angel?
No, it just threw me off the way you said it. I'm like, what? There you go.
Sorry, man.
So no, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just don't think I don't see anything wrong with it. I just think they really just had it out for him, and they, Sabu is the type of person as well that just didn't beat to that drum. So I just think I don't know. It affected his career because he wasn't a company's man, a yes man, basically.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what they wanted then, right? They just wanted someone who's going to toe the line, shut the fuck up, and do what he's told.
Yeah, probably. I mean, guess what a lot of people do now. I mean, yeah, anything you want, Vince. It's because he holds your career in his hand. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between when you get to WWE in the beginning and you have no money. You can't lose your job. You're like, oh man, how am I gonna make ends meet? Blah blah blah. Right?
Mhm.
But let's say you stay there. Let's say, like for example, the New Day. Usos, regardless, man, they've been there for years. They made a ton of money, man. Their bank account is padded. So now they're like, yo, man, whatever, man. You want to fire me because you're a millionaire. You got the cash, like a Randy Orton. Yo, man, whatever. You want to get rid of me? I'll go to AEW, using it as an example. Because and I don't even, maybe take 2 years off, take a break, take a trip around the world. That's when you have power, man. When you know that you could just walk away because you're financially set. Is when it's in the beginning when you're not financially set, where you have to be like, yes, sir, boss, anything you want. I'm okay. You know, they hold your
Yeah.
life in their hand.
And that's the scary part, man. They back the money truck up. Hey, man, sign here. We'll make your life. We'll change your life.
Yeah.
And then and then it's like the sense of ownership as well. But to me, it just Rob never seemed like the sort of guy that was ever gonna just like bow down and do what people wanted him to do. You know what I mean? Like if Rob didn't agree to it, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. I've never met him. You know him. Was he ever that sort of person where you go, oh yeah, but like play along with the politics and the bullshit?
No, he was no. He was not a political guy, man. I mean, like I said, he did what he wanted in ECW. He had full reign. So he's used to that. He wasn't used to that WWE lifestyle, and it's still he was not going to change for them. I mean, it's Rob, man, and that's what it is. They knew that what they were getting, and they figured they could change him and they could control it. It's just like breaking a horse. He was a wild stallion, and they thought they could break him and tame him, and it
Didn't work out, man. I find that the character that he did in Impact, in the last year, almost like the Charlie Sheen type of like unstable. Like you could see he's just having fun at this point. You know what I mean? Like, he's promoting his CBD company. Hell, he even gave. I saw when he got it put in the Hall of Fame, he gave Vince a pack of rolling papers. But even then, man, like from what I've been told, Vince McMahon doesn't mind smoking a bit of the sticky icky.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. And but again, he's the owner. Don't do as I say, don't do as I do philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think in this day and age, it probably wouldn't like. Let's take the pills out of it. If it was just the marijuana, like in America, majority of the states have legalized pot, correct?
Yeah, most of the states, yeah.
So, I think if it was in a state which was non-legalized and you didn't have like a card for it, okay, fair enough. But if it's in like, say, California, that's one of the states I believe it's legalized for recreation. How could they find someone for it? It's like medicine.
Yeah. I mean, they could still. I mean, it just depends on the state, man. Like I said, your employer could fire you, even though it's illegal. I mean, but I mean, they could fire you if they test you. But again, when they test you here and when you get a job, they don't test you again. It's not a continuing testing. Once you pass that drug test, you're in. You're good. So anyway, again, I don't know the legal ramifications in regards of it's legal, but how it affects your job. So that's just out of my ballpark.
Well, when you're working for WWE, there's a lot of eyes on you, and there's definitely, that scrutiny, and they don't want that quote unquote, to quote JR, the embarrassment. So, WWE, they did what they thought they needed to do, and it definitely halted Rob's push because his remainder in time in WWE, he was never really back in that main event spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, my final thoughts, man, I'm going to call it the final angle, is just that I just think it did affect his career because he was smoking marijuana and they couldn't control him. They couldn't control him, and then they finally found a reason to just shit on him because that's a fact. Because they gave him the title and they were just waiting for him to fuck up because they couldn't like stop his popularity. And then, and that's how I see it.
Completely agree, man. Like my final thoughts, pretty much the same as yours, man. I think that their hand was forced. The 2005 one night stand ECW show, and then coming a year later doing the 2006 one. Rob Van Dam was hot, and they needed to push him. Their hand was forced, and then Rob pretty much gave him an opportunity to stop it.
Right on.
So. But anyway, man, look, let's start wrapping it up, brother. Let's go into some of those sponsors. Angel, you want to take up the first one?
Oh, you definitely want me to take off the sleeve, man. Definitely. If you definitely want to get your sports athletic wear. I'm getting tongue-tied today. It's early in the morning. Say the word for me.
Athletic wear.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Definitely check out sleeves.com. It definitely has all the things you need, all the necessities you need for your sports. But I always focus on the dirty boxes. I think it's great in the bedroom. It's funny. It's entertaining. I love them. I have them. Definitely get yourself a pair of dirty boxes. But if you're just looking for some sports stuff, Sleeves has it. So use promo code MWAPOD, get 10%. And I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Definitely get those dirty boxes. You'll love it.
Hell yeah. And guys, while you're checking out stuff on the internet, head over to healthvape.com and check out their amazing vape and pod products. All of their products are no nicotine, no harmful or addictive chemicals, and they are vitamin infused. So guys, head over, check out healthvape.com, use promo code MWAPOD to receive a 10% discount on your final purchase. But Angel, it's going into Sunday for us here, and we're going to be kicking back and having a relaxing time, man. I know you're probably going to be doing a lot of running around for your Saturday.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's it, man. Look, let's get out of here, Angel. It's always good to see you, homie. It's always good to do this. And until next week, we'll see you for case number 73. So make sure you tune in for that one. Angel, you want to wrap up the final words?
I just want to say, everybody, thanks for showing up and, supporting Wrestling with Tragedy. We do appreciate you, and we see you next week, man. And like I said, the tragedy's everywhere. We hate doing it, but we have to bring it out, man. So check us out, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.
This is Vince Russo's The Brand.